Howdy folks, I'm Scoryth, the Crimson Renegade, and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII. Last time, we got a buggy because we won the Chocobo race to get ourselves out of prison for a crime we didn't really commit. Sephiroth did. Actually, it wasn't Sephiroth, it was Dime. Just this real quick, just a little bit. Okay, I guess it's alright. This looks a little off to me. Oh well. Okay, anyway. Before moving on with the plot, though, we're actually going to take a little time to get some more enemy skills. We're going to hang around this area here in the desert because there's an enemy here that I'm looking for that is oddly named. It's named a Hydra, but I would think it would actually be called a Chimera because of the way it looks. And here it is, the enemy that I'm looking for. See, I would think it was called a Chimera, but it's actually called a Hydra, or Harpy rather. Anyway, we need to manipulate it. And we'll manipulate. There we go. Well, we don't have to. This is the skill we're looking for, Aqualung. Alright, we're going to magic it now, and Thundara. And manipulation was successful. Alright, let's go ahead and use Clear Tranquil to heal us up, because Aqualung is a very powerful attack. Essentially, it is Beta, but the water element of Beta. So a very powerful, very expensive attack, but water elemental, so very good damage. Let's have it cast Poison Storm. Let's have it cast Aqualung on itself, just so we can kill it off. And Eris cast Healing Wind on us, because that Clear Tranquil didn't heal us up very well. Or we'll do it next time. There's a kitty at my feet. I can feel her. I can rubbing against my toes. Okay. Alright, so we got that one. We got that enemy skill. We got it on both of the skill. We got that both on enemy skill materias, right? Enemy skill. Aqualung, there it is. And I think Yuffie has the other one. No, it must be Cloud. Okay. Aqualung, there it is. Okay, good. Alright. By the way, for those of you who have been keeping up with the battles at Fort Condor, there is another battle available at Fort Condor now, and you can take the buggy, as you can see, back toward Coastal Sol. You can see I'm going this way. You can actually get on the boat from Costa del Sol. All you gotta do is enter the city of Costa del Sol while in the buggy. And once you enter the city, you're on foot. But I guess you put the buggy in your pocket or something and go onto the boat or whatever, and you can go back to the other continent, which we will be doing actually in just a little bit, but not for the battle at Fort Condor. First, we go over here to this beach over here. This is the right beach I'm looking for. We're going to encounter an enemy here called a Beach Plug, which will give us a very powerful enemy skill that they will never cast on us because it's a self-buffing enemy skill. And here's the guys I'm looking for. Alright, so let's switch to somebody who's got manipulation. Manipulation. Cloud, manipulate that one, please. There you go. Now, these guys don't cause too much damage to me, so I'm not worried about having to kill them off in order to stay alive, so I'll just wait till... Okay. Here we go. Big Guard. Have him cast Big Guard on us. And this is the enemy skill we're looking for. What enemy... There you go, learned it. What Big Guard does is it casts... Blizzard probably not going to do any good. We'll do Healing Wind to heal us up. Big Guard casts Haste and both barriers on our characters. As you can see, at the barriers there they're now depleting, but it puts both Magic Barrier and both barriers, so Physical Barrier and Magic Barrier on all characters, and casts Haste. So, and since it is like I said, is a enemy skill that casts only on themselves, they'll never cast it on us unless we manipulate them. So that's how you get abilities that can only be manipulated, but actually you can get skills that can only be learned by enemies that cast on themselves is by manipulation. I'm going to use a Blade Beam here to kill these two guys off real quickly. I've got to show off what my setup was. Basically, my Materia Setup hasn't changed too much. I'm still putting Restore, Lightning, and Fire on my double AP weapons on all three characters, with the exception of Yuffie, who has Elemental in the first slot. So she has Elemental, lightning and fire in her double AP slots. Now that we're done with this battle, I'm going to show that real fast. Materia. Eris has Restore Lightning Fire, as does Yuffie. She has Elemental Lightning Fire, and then Cloud has Restore Lightning Fire. On the armor, we've got Poison, Steel, Enemy Skill, and Cover, because I want her to work on her limit breaks, which right now, the only reason Cover is on there is for experience, for AP growth, because she needs kills right now in order to get her next limit break. Yuffie's armor has Ice All, because it's the only multi-targeting magic she's got. Restore and Steal, because we're going to be doing some stealing. And then on Cloud's armor, we've got Steel, all attached to Steel, but again, remember that the All Materia does not work on Command Materia, only on Magic Materia. So this All Materia is only here to gain AP, which unfortunately I have 2 All Materias in here that won't be gaining AP, because I have no place to put them right now, but that'll change later. Enemy Skill, and then Manipulate. Alright, so with that done, we've gotten, we just got Big Guard. Now what Big Guard does, as I said, casts Haste, Barrier, and what they call M-Barrier, I think it's called Shell in other games, which is which Magic Barrier reduces magic damage, whereas Wall reduces physical damage. So those three skills by themselves will replace a lot of materia. So if you keep in mind the materia that I've shown you before, there is a materia we haven't encountered yet. It's called Time, which casts Haste, Slow, and Stop. Those are the abilities that it has. Well, Big Guard takes that materia away. As you say, it also casts Wall and Shell. I believe there is another materia that casts Wall and Shell also. I forget which one it's actually called. But then it replaces that materia as well. So that's 2 materias that one ability replaces. And as you saw, Big Guard is cast on all allies. So that also replaces an all materia. So if you put an all materia on both those 2 other materia that I mentioned, that means that one skill replaces 4 materia. So that's 4 slots you've got free just on that one ability. That is how good enemy skill is, and that's just a few abilities that I've gotten so far. There are some that do a whole lot more and that are a whole lot better, and enemy skill truly is a really good replacement for a lot of materia, which is why I'm not going to waste time trying to get some magic materia for just to get the master magic, because enemy skill does that and a lot more. Okay, we got the beach plugs, Big Guard. We are now going to head into Costa del Sol on the buggy, and now we're on foot. Head up here and into the boat, because what we want to do is we want to cross the ocean again, because we need to pick up a key item across the ocean. So we'll talk to this sailor here. 100 gil to Junon. Sure. Pay up. Alright. Aboard the ship we go. And it sails back across the ocean. Now the reason we're going back across is because, like I said, we're looking for a key item, and also if you're trying to keep up with the battles at Fort Condor, now's the time to go back and do another battle. There is one available again. Well, what we're going to be doing is we're going to actually be heading out of Junon as soon as we land here. And luckily we don't have to travel all the way through all of Upper Junon just to get out. There's a little taxi helicopter that will take us out from the first area. So as soon as we dock, we go this way. Oddly enough, they're still playing the Rufus welcoming ceremony. We talk to this sailor here. Need a heli-taxi? Sure. Doesn't cost us anything. Helicopter arrives. We hop aboard. We go outside Junon. And it takes off. Whoosh. And there we are, outside Junon in the buggy. Okay, we need to head this way. Kind of follow this mountain right up here. This is right next to Junon. Go on the outside of the mountain, of course. We're going to get a few battles along the way, but if there's anything here we've seen before, I'll just cut them out. But we've seen these guys, so I'll be right back. Alright. get across this river here. Now we're going to get an idea where we are. Let's see if I can change perspectives on the map real quick. How do I do that? That's not it. Oh well, it doesn't really matter. Well, you remember we just left Juno. Juno is right on the other side of this little river down here. We go across this river here, head over here, and there's a cave entrance here. We obviously would not be able to get to had we not had the buggy. So we're going to get out here and get stuck on the buggy. So hang on. There we go. And we're going to go into the said cave after the battle. Let's try this one more time. Let's go in the cave. Let me talk to the sleeping guy here. You've already fought 162 times. Okay, good. It gives us the information we want to know. What we want to do is we want to find enough battles to where the last two digits match. I believe we want actually them both to be even numbers, but I'm not entirely sure about that. I tend to get that confused. But either way, we want both those numbers to match. So in this case, we need to fight 4 more battles and fight the way we fought 166 times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step outside this cave right here. I'm going to fight 4 battles and come right back and talk to this guy again. So be right back. Alright, I'm back. I know I'm not back where I said I would be. The reason is because there's an enemy here we can get an enemy skill from. This enemy right here. This guy is called the Zen Zealot. We need to manipulate him because he can cast a healing skill on himself that we want to get. And bink. Oh, come on. Come on, Cloud. Stop missing. Eris is going to die if you don't quit missing. We'll heal herself up here. Manipulate. By the way, while this is actually the battle I'm looking for. This is battle number. This is the 4th battle I needed, so I will have made my even number, double-digit numbers here. Come on, Cloud, really? I have so much trouble manipulating. In the battle before this one, Eris has gained her next level, her next limit break, which is her first level 2 limit break, called Breath of the Earth. So I've already set her limit to level 2, and I'll explain what it does a little bit later. We've manipulated the Zen Zealot now, and this is what we're looking for. White Wind is a healing ability. It cures status, as you can see, Cloud was down. It cures status ailments as well as healing. So it's another nice ability that takes away materia. It takes away the cure materia because it cures. It takes away the all materia because it casts on all allies, and it takes away the heal materia, the one that actually cures status ailments. So that's 3 materia if you want to count 4, because if you put all attached to both those other magic materias, again, White Wind takes away 4 materia. So between White Wind and Big Guard, that's 8 materia that those 2 skills replace. So just again, one more example of how great it is. Alright, let's go ahead and have Yuffie use Grease Lightning to finish that thing off. There we go. And again, White Wind is, as you see, a healing ability, so Zen Zealot would never have cast it on us. We would have to manipulate him and have him cast it on us. Alright, that should be battle number 4, so let's head back into the cave. Talk to this guy here, he should wake up. Oh, he did. Who are you? Yeah, I'm sure it was. It wasn't programming design. We received a bolt ring. Okay, this is not what we were looking for. While this is a good item, this is not what we were looking for. We have to escape because we haven't bothered. What the bolt ring does is it is a pretty good accessory, one I might actually use. It nullifies lightning attacks. So what that does is when it's equipped on the character, that character will receive 0 lightning damage from any source. So I'm going to let's put it on Cloud, and we'll put the power wrist on Yuffie because she is using element. She's using when she uses her limit breaks, rather, she does use physical attacks, so it'll up her damage a little bit, I think. And then having a bolt ring is nice. However, it's not what I'm looking for. So I need to go back out and fight 11 more battles. That way I'm at 177, and maybe I'll get the item I'm looking for then. So I'll be right back. Again. Alright, I'm back. I'm back in the cave here. I fought enough battles, so I should have 177 battles done now. So let's talk to him. And we broke him up again, so it looks like we have the right number of battles. Let's see if he gives me the right item this time. We got the Mithril. That's the item we're looking for. It is a key item. You go into your items list here, and you can see go over here to key items, and there it is. Might be of some help to you. That's all it says. What is the Mithril for? We'll find out much, much later. But it is a good thing. It's a good thing to go in and get it now, because it saves you the time of having to come back here and get it later. As you can see, I've already fought 177 times. So I don't know for sure if you have to, if the last two numbers have to be odd or have to be even in order to get Mithril. I just know the last two numbers have to match. So as you can see, 177 or 211 or 255, 222, whatever. The last two digits have to match. Alright, with that done, and we have the Mithril, what I'm going to do real quick is I'm ready to head back across the ocean. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and go back to some previous areas that I've already been to. I'm going to do a little bit of level grinding real quick, and I'm also going to get the enemy skills that I haven't gotten on my other enemy skill, Materia, which I believe Cloud has it. Yeah, okay. So as you can see, on Cloud's enemy skill, we're missing some that Eris's has. Like, we don't have Beta, and we don't have Flamethrower. Those should be, and level 4 Suicide should be the only ones that we're missing. Yeah, level 4 Suicide, Beta, and Beta, which I think go right here, and then Flamethrower, which I think goes right above it, or something like that. So I'm going to go back through and get those 3 skills. Now, the 3 skills that, like I said, I'm trying to get is Beta, which is off the Midgar Zolom, which, now that I'm level 20, 21, shouldn't be anywhere near as difficult as it was when I was trying to do that little trick setup that I did before we went to go get the Chocobos a few episodes back. I shouldn't have to go do any of that. I should be able to get it pretty easily and kill him pretty easily now that I'm level 20. Beta, Flamethrower, which is off the Arc Dragon in the Mithril Mines. And then, what was that third one that I said? I'd forgotten already. Level 4 Suicide. That is gotten from the little gopher guys in the area before you reach the Chocobo Ranch, between Call and the Chocobo Corral, Chocobo Ranch. I'm also going to pick up an ability on both these enemy skills that I haven't gotten yet, called Chocobuckle. So I'm going to need to equip my Chocobo lure and attract a Chocobo in order to get that ability. Now, in order to get Chocobuckle, I'm going to go ahead and show that on screen. But as far as getting Beta, Flamethrower, and Level 4 Suicide, I'm not going to bother showing, because actually I don't think I showed Level 4 Suicide, so I'll show getting Level 4 Suicide. But Flamethrower and Beta I'm not going to show again, so I'm going to run back and do that. Cross the marshes, and go show you Level 4 Suicide, and then show you how to get Chocobuckle. So I will meet you on the other side of the marshes. Yeah, I'll just meet you on the other side of the marshes. There's a little time in this episode, so that's where I'll meet you. I'll be right back. Again. Alright, here's the enemy I'm looking for. Just to let you know where I am, I'm back on the other side of the marshes now. Let's see. We need to take out the Levricon first. Or Levricon. And we need to use little, the Muse in the background, the little gopher-looking guys. We need one of them to cast Level 4 Suicide on us. So what I'm going to do is, if they're manipulatable, which I think they are, I'm going to have Cloud manipulate one and cast Level 4 Suicide on us, which will allow us to have Level 4 Suicide on both of our enemy skills. Okay, it didn't say miss, but they could manipulate, so it's likely that means they can't be manipulated. Typically, if it doesn't say miss when you try to manipulate, it means they can't be manipulated. Alright, let's see if we can cure some people up here. Let's use White Wind here to cure us all up. And then we just gotta wait for him to cast level 4 suicide, so we just have to be patient. So if he takes too long to do it, then I'll just cut to when he actually casts level 4 suicide, just showing the enemy what it looks like. So, until then, be right back. Again. And there it is, level 4 suicide. And Cloud learned it. Excellent. Nobody was a factor of level 4, so nobody took any damage from it. So let's finish this thing off, and we'll have gotten level 4 suicide, which is the first of 3 steps to getting Chocobuckle, the enemy skill that you can get from a Chocobo. So I'll meet you when I get to a Chocobo battle. So remember, one of the things you need to get in order to get a Chocobo battle is you need the Chocobo lure equipped on somebody. So don't forget to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick and meet you at a Chocobo battle. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. I finished pretty much all the things that I wanted to do for the most part. I went ahead and did everybody's level, got everyone's, at least everyone's first level 2 limit break. So as you can see, we start, we're going to look at what we got so far in our current party. We already had all 4 of Cloud's first 2 level limit breaks. We already knew about that. And while I was working it out, I also got Breath of the Earth, which removes the status ailments of all allies in the party. Now, that's really not a very useful limit break in my opinion. I'll show you as a check here. Cures all status ailments of all allies. The reason I say this is not a very useful skill is because just like any other status ailment curing ability, it's really not very useful unless the actual party members have an ailment. Now, luckily, all you have to do is still cast it, and even if the entire party is free of status ailments, it still counts as being used. So all you have to do is use this ability 8 times, whether it's whether your party is afflicted with something or not, and it will still count toward learning her next level 2 limit break, which is right here, Fury Brand. Fury Brand, on the other hand, is a very good limit skill. As you can see, raises party's limit gauge to the max except yours. So, more specifically translated, Eris casts this limit break, and the rest of the party members fill their limit bars while draining her. So she sacrifices her bar to fill the bars of her allies. Very good for obviously filling out the limit bars quickly, so you can use limit breaks to take down a strong enemy if you need to. But even better for those who, when you're trying to learn, or for characters that are trying to learn limit breaks by using a limit break skill. So this will become very handy in the near future because everyone has now learned their first level 2 limit break, therefore they need to use that level 2 limit break in order to learn their second level 2 limit break. So this Fury Brand is a very good ability. With that in mind, let's go to the last person on this party right now, which is Barrett, and his level 2 limit break is called Grenade Bomb. I'm pretty sure I already showed you what Mind Blow does. Mind Blow is the same as Big Shot, with the exception of it attacks MP instead of HP. So whereas Big Shot does damage to the HP, Mind Blow takes away the MP of the enemy. And the Grenade Bomb is just an area of, effect. It attacks all enemies for some good damage. I think it's just one shot and it's just a massive hit on all enemies. Alright, let's look at somebody else. The only limit break that I haven't changed or haven't worked on is obviously Kate's set, because I don't really care what it is. Let's go ahead and bring in Tifa and Red so I can show you their abilities. We'll start with, I don't know why Tifa's in the back row, but I'll fix that real quick. Okay. Red has his level 2 limit break is called Blood Fang. It says attacks and drains the HP and MP from one opponent. In appearance, it looks exactly the same as Sled Fang. He'll charge one enemy, drive through them, and then suddenly appear back in the party. The difference being he'll do damage to one opponent, just like Sled Fang, but when he returns to his spot in the party, he'll have gained some HP and MP from that attack. So, kind of a nice ability. As far as Tifa, she has learned her second level 2 limit break called Water Kick, and it's essentially just attack an opponent. It's again just another attack in their series of limit skills that she has. And just like Beat Rush and Somersault, she can use Water Kick along with Beat Rush and Somersault in one limit break turn. as long as you remember to set her limit break to level 2. At the top of the screen, you can kind of see the number 2 is kind of cut off by the word level. But she is set for level 2 now. So whenever she uses her limit break, she'll get 3 slots that you can either hit, yeah, or miss, and be able, that relates to each one of these skills. You have to make sure you set Tifa to level 2, or you will not be able to get all 3 of those slots. Also, Water Kick is her first level 2 ability, which means she has to use it in order to learn her second level 2 ability. So, when the slots come up, on the 3rd slot, you have to at least hit in order to get credit for it. If you hit miss on that slot, you will not get credit for using that skill, so you'll have to make sure you hit or yeah to make it count toward the 8 that you need to learn your next level limit break. Alright, with that in mind, let's go on to, actually that's all I've already shown all of them. We already showed Barret, Eris, and, Yuffie's the one I haven't shown yet. So, Yuffie's limit break is called Landscaper. Oops, I pushed the wrong button. Check it. Attacks all opponents. It does attack all opponents. What happens is she punches the ground, which you wouldn't think she'd be able to do with a girl of her size, but she punches the ground and creates basically an earthquake under all enemies, doing damage. The downside is it is a ground-based attack. I don't necessarily think it's earth elemental, but it is a ground-based attack, which means any flying enemies will not be affected by this ability. So I would recommend against using this against any enemies that fly. Kind of obvious to say, but I just want to make sure I point that out. Like I said, I don't believe it's actually earth elemental, but it is on land, so flying enemies won't be affected by this ability. And that does it for the limit breaks. As far as the enemy skills, I did manage to get some of the enemy skills that I was looking for. Cloud has I don't have anybody on my team right now that has an enemy skill on. Let me go ahead and bring my party in that I'm going to be using for the next little bit here, which is going to be Eris, Cloud, and Barret. I've already set them up for materia and equipment, and I'll show that in a minute. But first I want to show off the enemy skills that I've learned. I got level 4 suicide on both my enemy skill materia, which I already shown. White Wind from the Zen Zealot over in the eastern continent. Big Guard from the beach plugs on the western continent, but it has to be on the shore. Make sure you're on the beach line. Kind of obvious, it's called a beach plug. Went back and got the Flamethrower from the Arc Dragon in the Mithril Mines. Laser, we already got that on both enemy skills before we went and fought Dyne back in the Corel Desert. Mantra Magic, got on the first one, obviously from those little roller ball, I think they're called motor ball or whatever, in near Midgar, and then similar looking creatures in the Corel Desert. Beta, I got successfully through, like I said, taking on the Midgar Zolom again. It was a little bit easier because I'm level 20. He still managed to eject one of my party members and do serious and kill the other member, but because I was ready for it, I knew what was going to happen. The party member that I wanted was Cloud. I had Cloud put on Fire Elemental on his armor, put him in the back row, and put him on Sadness, which means he'll take less fire damage because Fire Elemental was on his armor. He was in the back row, which means he'll already take less damage from physical attacks, and he was in Sadness, which means his defense is essentially up. So when Midgar Zolom used Beta, he got it, was done. We cast Beta back on Zolom, killed him. So now I have Beta on both my enemy skills along with Aqualung. But as far as with things I wanted to do off screen a moment ago up to now, I've done almost everything. The only thing I didn't do, like I said, was to get Chocobuckle. I've got everyone's first level 2 limit break, which is what I wanted to do, at least, with the exception of Kate Seth, because he only has 2. And I got all the enemy skills except for Chocobuckle. So now, we're all done with that. I'm going to take us back across. I'm in the buggy right over here, just next to Junon. I'm going to head back into Junon, take it back across the river, and I'll meet you guys back under the Gold Saucer, where I first got the buggy, and we'll continue on from the plot line from there in the next episode of Final Fantasy VII. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. I'm Scoryth, the Crimson Renegade, and I'll see you later.